On this episode of Chicago Beer Pass, Nick and I are in the studio drinking some haze from Solemn Oath as we run down the long and wild history of Finch Brewery. All that and more on this week's episode. Here we are, hitting up events, drinking our way through Chicago beer, and trying not. Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass. I'm Brad Chmielewski.
Brad, what's up, man? I'm Nik White.
And we're doing 1 week in the studio, 1 week out.
You know, like a augmented schedule here.
I think that's a good way to do it. Stay safe, you know. Then we have this ridiculous table of beer to drink and share.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Basically have bottle share going on the show now. Last week, I don't know, there was lots of drinking we had done. So we were talking about that. We were talking about this, just a Brew Yards beer that I picked up. We recorded a video on that, so that was great. I didn't really make it around that much this past week to pick up beer. I am supposed to drink the beer I have at home because
Correct.
I'm not allowed to buy more beer.
It's probably out of control.
It is. It's not good.
Yeah. I mean, well, you know, lucky for us, the good folks at Crushed by Giants came through. Happened to come through on the day we're recording with a little Neon Werewolf. Mm-hmm. And then you got these really cool cans from Solemn Oath.
Yeah, so we are drinking the motorcycle sandals.
Right on.
Because, you know, it's sandal weather, right? And it is hot out. I don't wear sandals, but if I did, it's sandal weather.
Yeah, man, it is.
I know Nick rocks the sandals.
Around the house, you know, because I don't like that feeling of, you know.
Now you're at the beach? You're at the beach?
Oh, yeah, and at the beach.
Okay.
Mando at the beach.
I'll just go barefoot at the beach.
Yeah, man, I had to get up and go dip your toes in the water because it was too hot.
Okay.
But that sand, whoo,
Man.
fuck, it's hot.
I saw you posted that, you know, that you got a nicely timed Instagram photo of that person walking by.
I was wondering if I'm like, man, I hope people don't think that, you know, I was doing that as kind of a peeper.
The extra likes.
But I'm like, yeah, this is actually, it gives you, but it made for a cool shot, so we roll with it. Yeah.
But I saw someone ask, "Are the beaches open?"
I mean, you know, between regulating, bars and breweries, how many people they have, right? And then regulating the whole coastline and telling them that they can't party at we don't have enough cops for that.
Right.
So, I mean, you know.
The question really should be like, are there any rules anymore, right? Can you really get in trouble for anything besides, you know, actually like hurting someone or, you know, breaking into someone's place? Other than that, it's kind of fair game, right?
I mean, I feel like we can do what we want, you know. I mean, it's Chicago, right? But, you know, I tell you, man, you know, we talked about the social distance ambassadors from the mayor's office, right? No lifeguards this year. Now they're social distance ambassadors. Oh, but you'll see cops just flat out roll down the sidewalk, you know, of the beach and say, the beach is closed. You got to get out of here with their barriers on and everything, just kind of slowly on the megaphone. Get out. You got to go. And literally not one person leaving their spot.
You're like, oh, yeah. All right, sit back.
I'm like, this is pretty cool because I'm at attention. I'm like, shit, they're gonna start arresting people, and then no one leaves. I'm like, this is the best shit ever.
They're like, this is one cop car.
You know, this is, you know, the people have spoken. It's fucking summer. We're hanging out at the beach.
Right.
We're gonna keep our distance, but we are gonna go to the beach.
And you don't have to have your ID on you. Most people do.
I try to keep at least one form.
But you don't have to. Like, they can't make you have an ID, so they can then take you in and make that happen, but Chicago cops do not want to do that.
Yeah. So, whew.
Yeah. So the Nick was at the beach.
It's a weird summer. Yes. Cheers to Spiteful. Had a nice red, white, and blue can of Spiteful IPA.
Nice.
Yeah, quite nice. Quite nice on a summer day. And we recorded the intro there, so I was happy to get around.
Oh,
to
it's Spiteful.
Yeah, I was happy to get around to some Spiteful.
Man, this I know you're still drinking this Neon Giants, but this motorcycle cycle.
Yeah, Giants.
Oh,
I like that.
Neon
I like
Werewolf.
that.
This motorcycle cycle. It was canned in April, so it's a little old now, but it's still tasting great.
Brackets around, man. I think half the stuff I see we drink, I'm like, I didn't know this shit existed, and here we are. Like even the one from last week, the Hibiscus IPA from District Brewers, and then this one, and that's kind of a theme.
I got a problem. I'm getting all this beer.
I'd be telling you to stop too if I was. If I was the missus, I'd be like, you gotta slow this shit down, man.
But we drank the supermassive.
Oh, Cafe Deeth.
And then Sean Curry, he had listened that I had gotten more, and so he dropped off some beers, and I gave him some beer. So I have a couple things to drink from them. One from Lamplight.
Oh, Light the Lamp.
Light the Lamp.
Up in Grays Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of their big beers, and he gave me the beef tipped from
From Hot Butcher?
Yeah, so.
Oh, Sean Curry. I like Sean Curry, man. He gives those great big old bear hugs. I feel like I'm being lifted off the ground.
I stayed away from him. We talked 6 feet apart with masks.
I want to say Light the Lamp took a medal for their Lye Lager at JBF this year. Yeah.
It was funny, like, getting that beer from him, because I just watched this show called The Boys on Prime, or Amazon Prime, and one of the superheroes is called Lamplighter. So I keep thinking that when I see that beer.
Yeah, my buddy Dan on the CBG project, he lives way up north like that, and he went there and he hated it.
Oh.
And it was funny. It's funny to see, like, he hates it, and then 6 months later,
They're kind of blowing up.
they turn it around.
Nice. So that's a big stout. So I'll dive into that at some point and post a photo on our Instagram. Other than seeing Sean Curry, the only other thing I did was I did pick up a pizza from Peace.
Nice.
I didn't pick up any beer.
No?
But we drank some Metro cans in the park.
Probably for the first time ever.
Yeah, with Peace Pizza.
That sounds nice, actually.
That's
it's about as Chicago summer as you can get there,
Yeah,
but
July 3rd. Peace Pizza and Metro cans in the park. And that was pretty solid. I would have loved some Peace beer, but I didn't really know how the beer situation was happening.
Because you kind of almost have to get a growler. You got to get 64 ounces in glass.
I think
That's
so.
how they roll, right?
Right, and they only fill their glass. They're kind of they're sticklers about like their glass, like, because there is that rule. You can only fill your container, but
Yeah, I think Floyd's is like that. Yeah. Someone told me on their tour, they don't serve you beer on their tour, and then also if you bring a Three Floyds growler, they make you buy more glass, they told me. What? And I'm like, this can't be real. But
But pizza was good. Peace, I think I tweeted it, or like, Peace was the last place I went to before the shutdown.
right on.
So it was good to kind of like, all right, still going.
Survivors. And
Yeah.
then, you were saying that some of these breweries are getting some assistance. Some of these breweries are checking in and getting their PPP loan.
Right. So I think if you go on ProPublica, you can search by your zip code, who got PPP loans above, I think, 150,000 or more.
Yeah.
So these are the payroll protection loans. It's like interesting. I don't. Outside of like the ridiculous people taking the loans, nothing against the nail salon or the design studio or whoever getting a loan for, like.
I think the Los Angeles Lakers worth $3 billion they took some PPP money. And it's like, man, come on.
So it's just kind of I found it more interesting to like be like, oh, what's in my neighborhood? It's like, oh, I'm glad Peace got it, like took advantage of this. I know Alarmist took advantage of it. it is free money to support your employees, to support your business. So why not take advantage of it?
Yeah, for sure.
And so Peace got some, Old Irving got some. These are just ones that I was noticing as I was Forbidden Root, which was good because I haven't picked up any beer from Forbidden Root yet. That's a brewery that's very close to my house, and I haven't gone to support yet.
We've done the show from there.
Yeah.
They kind of hung their hat on the hazy train. They had last time I was there, because there's a boot shop across the street that I really like to go to.
Okay.
And they always got the nice burger at Forbidden Root.
Yeah.
They got that 11% Rosa beer that I like, and then they got like a ton of these. Some of them are sour IPAs, some of them are just straight up haze. But yeah, ever since we did the show from there, when I'm over there, I hang out. I go there.
They got like that. Is it like the 12% rosé beer?
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. That you took a like growler of that home.
Shit is no joke. Sometimes you want to be overwhelmed, right? that is where
Nick's like, what beer's gonna get me the drunkest here? I'll take a growler, please.
I got a lot to deal with when I get back to the other end of the fucking town here. So let me get that one.
So yeah, go. I don't know. It's more interesting to like go on the site and just search in your area because there's a lot of businesses. No one wants to see their Thai place or their burger place like go out of business. So it's
True.
It's cool to see that they were able to take advantage of it and get that loan. And you don't get like this brewery got this amount. You get sort of like a range, or this restaurant. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know. I just kind of forgot that that's a thing you could check.
Yeah,
So,
I think it got released yesterday, so it was more of a curiosity thing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you can go through all the breweries. I think you can put in breweries and look across the country, and then it's like, I've never heard of so many of these breweries.
yeah.
So it's cool. And then, so Peace got that. And then the Metro cans, we never really talked about that.
No.
Metro, they left the bottle format.
Yeah, those brown 12-ounce bottles, they might have been the only crew in town. I think.
Well, Moody Tongue.
Oh yeah, Moody Tongue, Argus when they were open,
Yeah.
and Metro. It was like a very short list of breweries that didn't do cans.
Right.
I'm trying to think of, are we missing anybody? I think literally everybody else did cans.
There might be one more, but I'm not drinking them, so I don't know. Yeah. I didn't not drink Metro because they weren't in cans.
Mm-hmm.
There was no. I love drinking Metro. I like all the beers. The package was not stopping me from drinking Metro beers. Like I'll sit. That's, yeah.
Yeah, I think when we were there and we're talking to Tracy, and she's like, "Hey, you grab something to go," and I'm like, "Well, we're about to cook dinner. What should I get?" And she referred me to the Dynamo Lager, copper lager, dark Vienna malts, big flavor, little lager, and I was like, "This is spot on." And it wasn't the biggest offering because, like to your point, a lot of times you just go, well, "Where's What can I get? What can I get? That's the
Right.
What's the biggest offering?" It's weird, but whatever. But yeah, I went with the Dynamo Lager, and I couldn't have been happier that was an option, and it played nicely with dinner. A nice little 6-pack of that. So
Yeah, so it's awesome seeing them cans. They're still doing bottles because they had that I'm blanking on the name of it, but they did like that collaboration or that old beer.
It's like
sepia.
it's like a beer from yesteryear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's in bottles.
So they probably still got the bottling line.
Right.
Like,
Which
yeah.
they are not ones. They are not going to get rid of that unless
Yeah.
someone buys it from them. And I think that's probably good because what happens if there's like some sort of aluminum shortage or cans are like on the back burner now and people are like, oh, I kind of dig bottles. They're fun. Like maybe.
Yeah, and you have an opportunity to do something like what Rev does because Rev's got the 12-ounce cans, but then they got the smaller run of the 16-ounce cans, and that's where your Mango Hero and Tropic Heroes are bottled, right?
Yeah.
They can have Metro can get into that game, and maybe even leverage some cool neighborhood organizations that want to do something. Maybe do a beer pass, coffee beer run in the bottles.
If you want to put Jitterator in any format, well, I'll be there.
For me, that's hands down my favorite beer from them.
Man, I haven't.
Fucking,
It makes me sad that I haven't gone anywhere because just thinking about that makes me like, oh, kind of want to see what's happening over there.
yeah, that patio with a little jitterator on nitro, watching the boats go by, sitting in the shade. That's it right there,
That's the
bud.
Chicago dream.
I mean, we're good. We're good if we can get that going.
So yeah, pick up those cans. Go. Metro's still doing. They do curbside pickup. Their patios open. You can. I think you can take food in there now, or
They-
you
'cause
could
they don't have
always-
a kitchen.
They don't have a kitchen, so you could always just pick up food, go hang on their patio, get some beer. And Tracy is one to, you know, speak her mind on the police, what other dumbass Wrigleyville bars are doing, and yeah, you know, I feel like Metro is a place both Doug and Tracy, I don't want to see leave.
Yeah, I like those guys a lot.
And so what else is happening? We can't go anywhere, so we don't. And there's events happening. We talked about Solemn Oath last week.
Yeah.
They have another event. I shared on our Facebook page.
Are they adopting? Are they gonna do the thermometer thing? It's probably not still.
Probably not. It's hard. How do you do a thermometer? It's 90 degrees out. Everyone's gonna be
It's
90.
infrared. It's infrared thermometer. You just point it, and are you at 106? Okay. Are you? No, I think it's 100.3. If you're at 106,
freaking dead.
if you're at 100.3, you can't come in. It's just simple.
I don't know. Huh?
Then again, ask me how many bars I own, right?
But then I saw Black Horizon. They turned 3.
Woodridge, Illinois.
Yeah, and they're having a social distance party.
Willowbrook. Sorry, got my woods mixed up.
You have to be 21 or older to go. Social distancing kind of party, parking lot, alley kind of thing.
Yeah. It sucks, and I got my mask right here in my lap, right? But when you read about, there was a birthday party in Texas, and 18 people from the fucking birthday party all got Rona. So when you hear shit like that, and you're like, all right, the social distancing, the shit is played out already. Let's go back to normal life. But it's still out here, man. It's still out here.
Yeah.
We still got to act like we have to assume that everyone's fucking got it.
Yeah.
That's at the end of the day, you got to.
And you hang out with people that you trust. They're like, I know you're scared of it. I'm scared of it. So we're good.
Right. You got to keep your pockets small,
So congratulations to Black Horizon. I know you have been out there.
Mm-hmm.
You and Afro Beer Chick went out there, right?
Yeah, we did a romp. Whiskey Hill was the first stop, and I think the last stop was Ike and Oak, the place you went.
Oh, yeah.
And in between, we stopped at, we were out there, so we stopped in Willowbrook.
And
Black Horizon.
Black Horizon is what, one of the 3 black brewery or
Shit,
2?
I think Vice District closed, so.
But
yeah, 18th Street.
Lulu?
Well, I know the head brewer's black.
Lulu.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know much else about that crew.
Okay.
Though.
Maybe that's why.
They did have some fun beers last summer at the fucking beach, though. At the
Lulu?
35th Street Beach.
Yeah, Lulu's food's good. That place is so small but very cool.
I dig them a lot. Yeah. I listened to the brother at the bar, his pod, and he had a Lulu's head brewer on.
Okay.
And he said they were more likely they like the taproom experience, so they're more likely to open another taproom than they are to go into production.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Which was like, I'd never heard anyone say that before.
Okay.
I thought that
so
was
they just
interesting.
have. So Black Horizon is the only black brewery.
And 18th Street.
18th Street.
But that's in Indiana, though.
That's
yeah.
Okay.
So in Illinois,
Lulu is just.
I think the head brewer is black.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know what else is going on there.
I
though.
know that's a lot of people are often looking for that. So that's like
Correct.
Black Horizon. You've been there. I haven't had any of their beer.
I tell you, man.
They make good beer.
I enjoyed what I had. I asked him, they all give you the line, oh, it's like my kids. I can't tell you which one's my favorite. But he's like the first one. One of the first beers to start the project was the Belgian Double. So I'm like, well, let me get that.
Okay.
And that was enjoyable. And then they've got like 10 or 12 offerings, right?
Cool.
And of the 3 or 4 I had, I had no complaints. The Belgian double actually kind of, made me wiggle my toes a little bit, man. A little desserty, a little estery, little, it was nice. It was nice to look at. It was good.
Oh.
Yeah, I got a Black Horizon story in the chamber that I just never posted. I should probably do that.
Should have got that up.
I got pics and I got words. I just never did it.
Especially, with
Now.
everything that's happening. That's the perfect time,
Perfect time. Yeah, I'm on bullshit.
Add a little to it,
Fucking did
a
Japanese.
couple extra hashtags, and you're good to go.
Yeah, put down the fucking Japanese whiskey and fucking do some work. Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, go support those guys. I need to support them. I tell everyone else to support them. I'm not backing that up.
If they are part of, if you know how Solemn Oath and Dovetail are picking neighborhoods and shit to go to that are far away from where the spot
deliver
is.
to?
Yeah. If they get down with that, I'd definitely like to try some more other stuff.
Yeah, I at the moment, since I don't leave the house very often, I have no reason to go. And I'm not going to places. I'm not going to go to a place that far.
It's far.
Yeah, I would rather, I'm going to go to Beguile or Crushed by Giants here before I go to Black Horizon. Just, that's my proximity kind of thing. But 3 years is awesome for them. So
speaking of West Burrs, man, cheers to Whiskey Hill because they sold out of their first bottle release.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Eric the brewer, I just want to get the name right of the beer. Eric and Nico put it together. Seismic Overlay was the name of the beer. So it was their first bottle release. And those bottles move quick, man. The 22-ounce, classic 22-ounce bombers, and they sold them all.
Cool.
So cheers to those guys.
And then on bottle releases, Revolution, another release. Rye.
Yeah, man. It's a berry Rye to Heaven.
Berry Rye.
So this one's got brambleberry.
Comes out, we're recording this on Wednesday the 8th. It comes out the 9th. You could go pick it up Thursday.
Yeah, this is mixed berry Rye to Heaven. So this is blackberry, raspberry, boysenberry, cranberry. A variant on Rye to Heaven, an 18-month rye whiskey barrels. So it's a rye wine. So, and I was wondering, because there's rye wines and there's barley wines, and rye is the difference. But I wonder, if it's full on, is rye the only grain, or is there a mix?
Oh, I don't know.
I've wondered that. I'd like to know more about that. I didn't see that.
You're a huge barley wine fan.
I mean, BIL,
What, barley wine for life?
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious to know what the mixture is, what the blend of grains is. But Rye, because VSOR came out this year.
Yeah.
And that's a fantastic ride, that beer. I think they were saying that in general, rye has more flavors than wheat or barley. So you're gonna have more complexities.
You got your neat pour. I love rye whiskey. Templeton's was man, as craft beer was blowing up, Templeton's was blowing up at the same time, right?
I think we all had a Templeton phase. I can remember being on the train with fucking Templeton, like an asshole.
I was if I see Templeton's, I buy it. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so when there was rye beers, rye whiskey, it was just whew. Yes. Yeah. That moment.
So, good for Revolution, man. They're keeping us excited about beer,
And so hopefully...
new barrel-aged beers in the middle of the summer.
So yeah, pick up that. The Supermassive sold out fast, so I bet this sells out just as fast. Check it out. Hopefully we get our hands on it. Jonathan Carruthers helps us out here.
We need a little Rye, man. We're trying to get that Rye to Heaven, man.
So that's kind of the events and, I don't know, the stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
But, man, there's we have to save this for the end.
All right.
This is maybe the most hilarious thing that I have heard all of this year. When my wife told me about this, if I had been drinking, I would have spit out what I was drinking. And I literally, I think, said to her, LOL, out loud. I was just What are you talking about?
I tell you, man.
And so this is. I can't even say no disrespect to this because Finch.
Yeah, man. The Perch. Now, there's a fish called the Perch. So, like, I think Fish Fry Fridays, and I'm thinking, like the Perch. Like,
but
is a fish fry joint?
Oh,
Like,
I guess. But okay, that would make sense. But birds sit on a perch.
Birds also sit on a perch, and the legendary Finch Beer Company is launching yet another beer project in this goddamn city, Brad.
All right, so this is opening up
This is so good, man.
in Wicker Park at the place that was formerly the Boundary.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture this.
So this is next to what was Jerry's in Wicker Park.
Oh, Jerry Sandwiches?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that place that's no longer Jerry's.
Jerry Sandwiches was dope.
Yeah.
I saw the Beatnuts and Ghostface Killer at fucking Jerry Sandwiches.
Yeah, I think I picked up Jerry's sandwiches every week for maybe a month or so there, and always walked by the Boundary. I've only been to the Boundary once, and
Oh, yeah.
I went for like some sort of division wing crawl that friends and I did way back in the day.
Yeah.
And I had never set foot in there again. So this place it's massive though. It's huge.
Yeah.
Finch or who's ever involved in Finch decided, you know what's a good idea during a pandemic? Let's open up a brewery.
We got to bring back Finch, man. That's what we got to do. So let's give can we give a little background on Finch?
I'm Finch. Okay.
All right, so Finch was 2011, right? And at the time, only Half Acre came in tall can 4-packs. So then here comes David Finch, who's he's down with
Ben Finch.
Oh, was it Ben Finch? It was a guy named Mr. Finch.
I think it was Ben Finch. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Finch. He comes in, and I think he's affiliated with like Threadless, the T-shirt company, right?
Yeah.
So then he starts Finch Beer Company.
And then it was going well. You had we did Bite the Brewery, so you had 10 to 12 breweries at the time in Chicago. This was fine.
Who's my man with the curly hair? He used to brew at Homewood, and he poached him, and he started brewing there. And this guy's actually
Good Time Charlie.
This was pre Good Time Charlie.
Oh, okay.
There's another guy. God, I get a picture with this guy.
I'm not sure.
Fuck. Sorry. Anyway, so Finch launches.
But it's going well.
It's going well.
No one.
He's got a brewer from home with Flossmoor. That guy goes. Good Time Charlie comes in. We all know Good Time Charlie because he went off to start right beside her shortly after. With his wife after that.
It's going fine. The beers they're okay. There's not a lot you have to compete with here.
Yeah, I think they're Fascist Pig, which I believe is their red ale, and then this Secret Stash Stout.
Right, those blew up. But even before that, there was just the Threadless. They had Threadless IPA that was like,
and then
it was just okay.
The flagship was like a pale ale with a bird. Everything had a bird on it. Right, put a bird on it with the T-shirts too.
Yeah, because it was the height of Portlandia. Like this just.
Oh, Finch. So.
But then Ben Finch comes out and says, I don't care about the beer. I only wanted to start a packaged good company.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter. So this is horrible for them because you are being supported by beer nerds.
And everyone's, and this is 2011, so everyone's welcoming you.
Right.
Other breweries want to see you succeed.
There are 12 breweries in this city.
People who don't know anything about you or this beer are coming out supporting just because you're a brewery in this city. Yeah.
Right. And your beer can suck. It can be great. It doesn't matter. You're a brewery and hooray.
Because we've seen breweries have humble beginnings and go on to just be, the best intent. Like Goose, they took feedback from the Chicago Beer Society in the early days.
Yeah.
Half Acre, when they were brewing up in Wisconsin, right? They had so many breweries started with these humble beginnings. So we're rooting because
that comment right there killed it, right? The beers were fine. Some people probably may say the beers weren't good, and that killed it. But I think it was that comment that just people turned on it. People were like, I don't need to drink this. Like, I don't, why, you don't care about beer. You just wanted to sell people things.
You're not excelling at a point where you can say some shit like that and people still ride with you.
Right.
Yeah.
So that Finch was out.
The Argus of the North is what my homeboy Dan used to call them.
And so from there, they decided they burned Chicago. So they had to just sell their beer out of market.
They were the first brewery in places like Tennessee. They beat Goose to Kentucky by like a month, right? They touted themselves as Chicago's an excellent namesake city. You go somewhere else, I'm from Chicago, that means something. They're going to like Atlanta, Georgia, and Florida, and they're in they're in like 10, 15 markets outside of Chicago. You never see them on tap in Chicago, and it didn't matter because going out of town kind of saved that company at one point.
Right, because you were. That was also the time where people were trying beers from everywhere. I remember getting pictures from friends, being like, "Hey, I found this." It's like,
it's almost
from Chicago.
Technically, it is. It was made here.
Yeah, but you were in this like, I wanted to try beer from everywhere. I want to see what everyone's doing. So they won in that. That helped them.
It was smart.
It was super smart.
It was smart because without that, they fucking close. Yeah. Without that, period. So Finch, right? So correct me, Finch. After that, they moved into the Heinemann beer company, the break room place, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. This is where
what is the current location of Twisted Hippo? So that's in Horner Park. We've done a show there.
Right. This is where I get confused if they left their space that they had and moved into that space.
No, we used to take the brew bus there at night. Revolution told us that we were too rowdy, so we needed a 7 o'clock
to the production
to Kedzie.
Okay.
Too wild for Kedzie, because then they started having families and all this, all this shit.
Oh, but to the Finch production brewery.
Finch production brewery was on Elston, like near Elston and Montrose or something. So they were there. They were always making the cans there, right? And side note, we always talk about like we should do a story about the legend of Finch and everybody we met that used to work at Finch and then left.
Okay.
But they had a production facility, and then they went and opened this tap room, where break room kind of crashed and burned. Break Room was the Heinemann Bar Company launched a brewery called Break Room. It was a brewery and a tap room.
Okay.
And then Heinemann was the guy who made the bars for the city. He made Revolution's bar on the pub. He made Haymarket's bar.
Okay.
So that guy, he was making bars, wooden bars in the back, but he was taking contracts and not making the bars. So then he launched his brewery, and Mike Palin, who started Microphone, was his brewmaster.
Was that Finch brewmaster was Mike Palin?
No.
Was this when Rebecca Grant was there?
That's who it was.
Oh.
That's who he's now Rebecca Grant. But he was their first.
She's Rebecca Grant.
Sorry, she's Rebecca Grant.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Finch's first brewmaster. He used to work at Flossmoor Station.
Oh, okay. That was Rebecca. Okay.
So Finch is making these cans on Elston. But then they move into this other space that Break Room used to occupy. Right. Because Break Room, they crashed and burned. Yeah. Heinemann was
That's
like...
That's one of my favorite hats. Cause it's
it's so sweet. It's like a fucking...
classic. It's like a... But it's like a Chicago, like... I don't know. It's almost like old Chicago now. It's not even that old.
It's I saw Drew Fox from 18th Street cry there that night because he had met his Kickstarter goal, and the Kickstarter goal party was there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So Finch took it over.
Break Room's out. Boom. Finch is in.
But Finch never opened.
Finch opened.
They did.
So we started taking the brew bus there.
Oh.
That's how I've been in this place.
Well, for like a month?
Right. It was open for like 3 fucking months. So here Finch is, they were brewing. And then they changed the name too around this time because they kicked the guy that you're talking about. It was
Ben Finch. They kicked the Finches out.
It was Finch's.
They bought Finches out from the board.
It was Finch's beer, and then the rebrand was Finch's Beer Company. Finch Beer Company. Yeah. So it was like kind of different, same but different.
Right. And I think everyone was like, "Why don't you change the name?" Why? This isn't a name change. Yeah. You didn't fix anything.
So they move into Break Room, and they still got their production facility and go a couple miles away. Yeah. Okay. And then they announce that they're doing this massive 80,000 square foot brewery on the river.
And this is where this was just hilarious because they're like,
it's like why? Like okay.
Like if Goose Island would have I think at the time I remember if Goose Island would have said they're doing a giant thing on Goose Island that's massive. Sure.
We always thought in the back of our head when Goose sold completely to AB that at some point they would get the band back together, right? You know, like a couple of the old brewers, the old money, and they would just go launch a whole new project on the actual Goose Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we thought. And then we don't get that. We get to Finch. This is where we're stuck with. Finch is gonna open this now on this fucking.
And we have a story, and I linked on our Twitter about it. But there is a Eater Chicago story. It's a rendering of it. It's so much money. It would be so much money for any brewery, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
Goose Island would have been the only brewery, maybe Lagunitas, that could have afforded that on the river.
So it was all just a what do you call it? You know,
Concept?
It was all just like a publicity stunt.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So now this is Finch, right? And then now after this,
But then the space closes.
the space closes. It crash and burns the same way Heinemann did before it, right? The Finch Brew Pub on fucking Elston or Montrose.
Right. It just they basically like done.
It just didn't work out.
Okay, and so this place looks cursed. But now
Right.
Twisted Hippos, they seem to be doing well.
And to their credit, like when Finch moved in, they just literally painted everything yellow and put birds everywhere.
Yeah.
Now to Twisted Hippo's credit, it's totally fucking different.
Yeah.
The space looks better than it ever has. Yeah. Oh, so now Finch moves out of there, so they're done with the brew pub space.
They still have their Elston spot.
They still got their Elston spot. This fucking Finch thing, it never fucking ends. How much money do they have? So Finch moves into the old. No, okay, let me slow down.
So Like Minds.
Like Minds.
They open up this spot right next to Goose Island.
It's the old Goose Island barrel warehouse because apparently.
I played mini golf in there.
Dude, fucking Chicago Craft Beer Week like a motherfucker.
I played mini golf in there. And then Like Minds painted up outside. Like, who the fuck are these people?
And then,
From the north suburbs, right?
No, they're from Milwaukee.
Oh, from Milwaukee.
Yeah, they are from Chicago's nicest suburb, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hey, so first of all,
that needs more beer for this.
First of all, Goose Island, the oldest brewery in town that got bought by AB, didn't own the buildings that they had all their barrels in. They were renting. So, and you know, actually, Surratt, the beerinator, he's the one that said, if anyone moves in here, they're instantly one of the 5 largest breweries in the city because this space is so fucking big.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I think we were watching like a Mayor Hawthorne 312 party there or some shit.
Okay.
So anyway, Like Minds, their Goose's leash is up, Like Minds slips in, boom. Now Like Minds is there.
They're there for like a month.
They're there for a month because here comes Finch before Like Minds can get set up, makes them an offer they can't refuse, offers them so much fucking money that they pack up and move back to Wisconsin.
And then they paint over Like Minds, and now it's the Finch. So they shut down the Elston spot.
And now all the cans are coming from
Move there.
the.
You can't. I think you can go in there on. You could go in there on Sundays. The only time I've seen it open is for the 312 block party.
Yeah.
It says Finch on it. It's almost like, hey, we're in this brewing district. Look at us.
Now we talk a lot of shit about Finch because it's a weird concept, and then you know people who. I don't understand where they're getting all this fucking money from. It's actually just it's kind of it's funny, but it's also kind of amazing too.
But if I was an investor, I was like, give me my money back and stop making, get out.
I will say this about Finch: they're the third coming of Finch with this Session Sour Taco Cat.
Okay.
I think that's their top selling beer, and you know I think we walked over there during one of the 312 parties.
Yeah.
Because they were open. That's the only time you're open. Because they're the only fucking spot in the district that doesn't have a customer facing option. They're just a production facility. There's no tap room. There's no bar. There's nothing.
Even during COVID, they're not. You can't buy Finch beer and walk up and get beer. I run by that friggin' place almost every day. I run by all 3 of them. Goose, Great Central, and Finch. They're all right there. Great Central they're open a few days for pickup. Goose is usually open.
Yeah.
Finch, no.
Now I like Taco Cat and I like Secret Stash Stout, and that's when we learned that Ravinia was brewing at Finch. We learned that during the last block party.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're caught up.
Yeah.
And now after all those things, Finch hooks up with Smoke Daddy to open a tap room in Wicker Park during the pandemic.
So this will be the second brewery now in Wicker Park after Peace. Because
Oh yeah.
Moonshine was there, but I'm the only person that knows Moonshine ever existed.
They used to party at Moonshine. Moonshine was a fucking.
You did not go to
shit
Moon.
show.
You did not go to Moonshine for the beer. They happened to have beer.
Yeah, you went. We went for the party,
Yeah.
and then they served you flights of beer in little mason jars.
Right, for like $3. That was the reason we went there to drink, because they made their own beer, which was cool, but it was $3 for a mason jar.
You go to Moonshine, and it is game on. You're barely walking out. You're barely walking out of Moonshine. That place, man.
So yeah, but that was Moonshine. But now, the Perch is going to be a brewery, or Finch is still the brewery. Perch is the place.
Correct. So there's a group, and Smoke Daddy was part of the group. It's the 4-star restaurant group. So this is Smoke Daddy, Tuco and Blondie. I don't know any of these other spots, and Ella Ellie. I don't know any of these spots. I know Smoke Daddy because it was down the street on Division.
Right.
Right.
But the Perch is not going to do barbecue because they don't want to pull business away from Smoke Daddy. So they're going to have, if I remember looking at the menu right, basically just bar food kind of stuff.
Oh, they're gonna hit you with slow roasted cauliflower and snacks. They're gonna try their hand at bar food, like Brad said.
Yeah. There's going to be a small brewing system in the place. So it will be a brewery. But Finch is going to have, was it 11 or 14 draft lines? If I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember what
40 seat pair. Oh, 12 barrel system.
12 barrel system, but then the lines, was it like 11 or 14 lines? Something like that.
12 barrel system's a decent sized system. You know.
Yeah,
not
but
your-
they still have the main brewery. And so so this is whatever, like great for Finch. Right? Like I'm all for like places like continuing to function, right? Like that's fine.
Yeah.
You're going to open up a new spot in this giant space, has very limited patio seating in a middle of a pandemic. We are not going away. This doesn't end this year, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to decide to open, which it must have been like, well, we have to open, otherwise we're fucked, right?
Yeah. Like we got commitments. This isn't all our money, and we don't set the timelines here. With the group of us, the group has decided we're fucking opening
We're
now.
going no
Yeah.
matter what. All right. But who's going to this? That's my problem. Like, you have a lot of people that don't know this crazy web of Finch story that Nick and I have seen from fucking day one that just like, what?
Since 2011. So 2011 is almost 10 years ago.
Right. So we are old men in this whole stupid thing.
I quit down my beard. I'm hella gray right now.
And so, are you going to get people that don't know who Finch is coming to this place and being like, it's a brewery?
The seltzer crowd of the last 2-3 years has no fucking clue who Finch is.
Right. So
Yeah.
are they cool with a brewery in a new brewery? Is that all they need? It doesn't, I haven't had a Finch beer besides Taco Cat in a long time, so I don't know. I can't speak on the quality of the beer.
I fuck with Taco Cat. That's the only thing I've had.
But I can't speak on any of the other lineup.
Yeah, I don't know shit. I don't know what's going on with Finch.
So, I
I
want to see it succeed because I want, more breweries selling more beer in Chicago is great. But why you could have called this anything. It could have. We're talking about Crushed by Giants here. They have a different name, but it's the same group. Why didn't you just make up a new name?
people like new, right? To your point.
And why didn't you have some Finch beer, but also have Perch beer? but it's still gonna be Finch beer.
People are gonna be confused and think it's a fish joint.
I think it's who's ever on this board, who's ever the investors. They're old. They're old.
You have to assume that, or they're all just buddies, and they're just like, "Fuck it, I got nothing else going on. Let's try this." And this is a legacy act. They've been making beer since 2011. So when you look at the current production facility in the brewing district, and then the Elston production facility, and the Twisted Hippo space on fucking Montrose, and now this location. That's 4 different locations for the Finch Beer Company they've existed in 4 different neighborhoods in the city. Right. And there's the only dry hops done that.
And if there's any sort of rollback of phases in Chicago, or Lightfoot decides that's it, bars and restaurants outdoor only, it's August, it's October. What's a brand new place like Perch gonna do? First off, I live right there. I'm not gonna order from it because I don't know if you're any good. I'm gonna order from the places that I know are good. I'm not gonna order.
How do you feel about Smoke Day? Smoke Day's been there for 26 years. Yeah, but they're not making barbecue at this joint.
Right, Smoke Day's fine.
If
I want barbecue, I might go Lily Q over Smoke Daddy, but Smoke Day's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so how are you marketing this new restaurant? I don't know. It's wild.
It's a strange dynamic for sure. And it has brought me all the joy the last few days to see this shit come out. It's great.
Yeah.
So good job by them for giving us something to talk about. And,
well,
hey, I hope it works out. Like, honestly, if I'm, I might actually swing by and grab, I don't know, what y'all doing? You doing curbside? If you're doing curbside and you got some shit in cans, I sure as fuck can't go to Brewing District and get cans from Finch. So I might swing by and get some Taco Cat.
Maybe it's a way to sell cans do some curbside, because maybe they are not doing curbside there, but they could do it there.
Yeah, be more of an involved brewery and get your shit together. I think that's what we're saying. Be more of a presence as a brewery, right? Like, why is it that you were across the street from Goose and we can only hang out there if we went to a Goose party?
Yeah.
Why is that? And why is it that we don't understand anything about this concept, right? Like, I mean, Crushed by Giants. Fuck, we knew about this way before. Like, everyone we know, every beer Twitter knew about this project because they knew about all the other projects. Right. And maybe that's part of our issue with Finch, is that they seem to be this isolated kind of crew that only deals with these other old rich fucks, and no one really cares about people who drink beer.
They don't want to play with Chicago beer people. They're like, we exist. We're not for you.
They're not interested in being a contemporary Chicago brewery. They're not like the rest of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that's good.
It's weird. That's I think that's my problem with this. I think after the Ben Finch comments years ago, there was never any goodwill to win people back. It's not that hard to win people back. You just have to make a really good beer that's limited and get people to show up. They'll just do it.
People will go to fucking Downers Grove.
They'll just do it. They'll wait in line for it. You guys didn't do it. You didn't try. You just kept doing your same thing. Making your beers. The Taco Cat's a good option. There's not a lot of kettle sours, but there are. Revolution's doing a lot, and they are
freedom of expression. Quite
really
nice.
Good.
Quite nice.
So, why am I getting Taco Cat over freedom of expression? I'd rather support Rev.
That was fun.
All right, so now that you know all of the Finch backstory.
Oh, you were talking about, remember we were naming, it was me, you, and Sergio, I think, and we were naming all the people we knew, because I think Sergio was on the pod that day, and we were naming all the people we met over the years from Finch, and then I think we were just kind of saying, we should do, every time we see a Finch beer somewhere.
You can't, that's the other thing, because anyone seen, I know no one can go to bars, or still you can, but whatever. have you ever seen a Finch tap? The tap handles had a bird on it because you got to put a bird on it. I have never, ever seen a Finch tap in the last 2 years in Chicago. There's no way a beer place is going to convince people to hey, try this Finch beer. They might carry Taco Cat in cans, but that's it.
Yeah, I think we talked about Rebecca Grant, Good Time Charlie, even my man who's a main bartender at Beer Temple, Ryan. He's Pork and Alcohol on Twitter. He used to work. I met him. When I met him, he was a server at Finch. Christian Berdillis, who went on the Lake Effect, and now he was at Burnt City, and now he's I forget where he is now. Oh, but anyway, I mean, I like Berdillis. He worked at Finch at one point.
Okay.
Yeah, you meet a lot of people that have come through the Finch universe. So it's just it's a very interesting Chicago story. I'm kind of not mad at this. I'm kind of weirdly excited that there's another chapter. There's another chapter. I'm kind of excited about it. I can't tell you why, but it's just fun. Who else opened in 2011 and started a new concept in 2020 in Chicago?
Yeah, like you said, Crushed by Giants, Dry Hop, them. Maybe Moody Tongue is the only other one we get to kind of watch go through this ridiculousness of everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the move from Pilsen to it was technically Bronzeville, but they probably call it South Loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure at some point go into cans and try that.
They're in China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story, but we should get out of here.
Yeah, man.
Nick, where can people find you, get in touch when we're not here?
Right on, man. I'm on Twitter at Nicosio.
And I'm on Twitter at BRAD, Chicago Beer Pass, Instagram, Twitter. We're throwing up lots of photos on Instagram. Check that out. Episodes coming out every week still. We're trying to get some more guests. Otherwise, we're here just drinking and rambling. I don't know. That's
just like old times.
I know. So we'll be back next week with another episode. Take care.
Cheers.